Well, hello and welcome to the Mindset Mentor on Sauga 960 AM. I'm Tania Kolar. It is such a pleasure having you join me today. One of the things that people always seem to want more of course, is success. So, on today's show, I want to dedicate this hour to how to become more successful. And success truly is a mindset. So, we're going to delve into the three secrets to success that can really help to catapult your results. And obviously everybody has different goals and a vision of what success looks like to them. But for so many people, they tend to fall short of whatever success looks like for them. And oftentimes it's the limiting beliefs that we have. It's the mindset around success and what we believe or have decided to be true about ourselves in terms of the level of success that we are going to allow in. So what happens is that we actually become a barrier to success, the success that we want, the success that we envision and we dream of and we desire to have. Everybody certainly is capable of achieving the level of success that they desire, but we hold ourselves back. We dim our lights, and we settle. We settle for what we think we deserve, or what we feel that is good enough for us. And I want to go beyond the good enough. I want you to embrace your best self and to really start to achieve and have the things that you want to have in the life that you desire. The Mindset Mentor Show is all about helping you cultivate a life you love, and that is my job. I want to help support you to get to your vision and to your dreams, and to live a life that you truly feel inspired by and you feel passionate about. Too many people wake up every day and they're doing the same thing day in and day out, and they're not happy or they're not satisfied. They get by, and you may have some happiness here and there, but are you truly happy? So I want you to ask yourself that question: am I truly happy? And if the answer to that is no, and I certainly hope it's a yes, but if it's a no, then you want to start asking, so why? What's missing? What am I holding back from achieving, or not allowing into my life? So in this hour, let's talk about the three secrets to success. And the three secrets to success, I want you to remember this: shift, shed, show up. So first is to shift your mindset. So there's your shift. The shed is shedding limiting beliefs. And that can be such a game changer, 100% game changer when you can start to eliminate the limiting beliefs that we have accumulated, over time, of course. It dates way back, of course, to childhood. And then the third secret to success is show up. So that means to show up as the best version of yourself. And we're going to delve into what each of those three success principles really look like, so that you can foster and create the right mindset to create the successes that you want for you. And again, whatever that looks like for you. Not everybody wants to have a multi-million dollar company, be a CEO or an entrepreneur. Maybe for you, the success is to be the happiest that I can be, so that I can give my best self to my family, to your children, to your spouse, to your partner, and to just feel truly fulfilled. So think about what success looks like to you as well, because that's one of the problems, is that we don't even know sometimes what it is that we truly desire, because we've decided that, again, it's not for us. Other people deserve that level of success, or I wasn't born to be successful. Of course you were. Everybody is born to be successful. You are an extraordinary person living in an extraordinary world, and you can absolutely be, do, have, and achieve anything that you want when you shift your mindset and you really start to focus on your core values and your principles. So that's the one thing. So let's start with shifting the mindset. It's so important that we begin to prime our mindset for the successes that we want. And success trickles into every aspect of your life. And in fact, these 3 secrets to success will also help to navigate some of the difficult challenges that you're experiencing. And certainly in this time with this world climate the way it is, with the global pandemic, there's a lot of fear and anxiety that is, permeating the air and the environment and in our lives. So the 3 secrets to success can also help you navigate through and pass that as best as possible, so that we don't focus too much on the negatives. So that's one of the things when it comes to shifting your mindset. You need to make a choice that you're going to work on your mindset. So that means that you're now going to start to pay attention to the words that you're saying, out loud, but also the words that you're saying to yourself, the negative patterns that we have. So you really want to start watching out for that. And again, the 3 secrets to success really are shift, shed, show up. So it's shifting your mindset. Everything starts with your mindset. We have an idea, we start to make that idea a reality based on the thoughts and the consecutive thoughts and what have you. So everything begins with your mindset. Your mindset affects everything, your attitude, the way that you react or overreact sometimes, right, to situations. It's based on what we're telling ourselves. So again, I really want you to start to listen to what's going on in your mind, that negative narrative, and you're going to shift your mindset from the negatives and the worst case scenarios to what's actually happening in this moment. So the reality versus the, oh my goodness, like what's going to happen, down the road, in a couple of months, or in a year or 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. So we start to focus on all these negatives, and we start to limit ourselves because we believe that we can't achieve this, or things will not work out for us. But who says that they won't work out, right? The problem is it's our thinking, and what we think about, we bring about, right? So your energy goes where your focus goes. So you want to be so mindful of that, because we are the creators and the architects of our reality. We have control. And if you think about it, that is such a beautiful thing, because we do have that full, complete control of what we're going to think about, what we want to create. The desires that we have, 100% control, right? It begins with this vision and an idea and thinking. And so if it's something that you can recognize that you're thinking that is not something that you want to create, that is your first opportunity to step in and say, well, hold on a second here. I don't want to create what I'm thinking about in this moment. So then there's your beautiful opportunity to shift your mindset and start bringing in what it is that you want. Now, everybody wants to have more success, right? So, think about it. We look to people who are winning in life. We look to people who are succeeding, and they're successful in their field, in their careers, and they're loving what they do, and they're passionate about what they do. And we all aspire to that. Nobody goes up to people who are losing in life, so to speak, and ask them what their secret is, right? I think we've all been there. We all know those moments of failures. And so we want to start now modeling what does success look like? How are other people achieving this incredible level of success and becoming a high performance person in the field that they are in? And so again, you really want to start focusing the mindset on what you want to achieve, and let the fear dissipate. We all certainly have fear at time, and that's fine. It's okay to experience fear. Fear is a normal phenomenon, but it's not okay to live there. See, that's the difference. Our mindset dictates our reality. So if we're going to focus on, the fear, we're going to create more fear. we're going to be prevented from stepping forward and moving forward to create what it is that we want because we're too fearful and we stand in our own way. So, I really, really want you to get out of your own way already. Give yourself a break. That's the problem, is that we beat ourselves up incessantly. We're too hard on ourselves. We expect to be perfect. If we didn't do it right, then we're not good enough. And it's really not true. And if you look at any failures, whatever a failure is, it's all a perspective, right? Essentially. But let's just take a look at what, society deems us to be a failure. Your failures are not the worst things. I think failures are a beautiful thing. Look at your failures as an opportunity to do better, to be better, to learn. We all come into this world, we learn how to walk. So we keep on going, right? It's not a failure when you fall down the first time when you try, or the second time, or the third time, or the 1,000th time. We continue until we learn how. And life is it's a journey. And as far as I'm concerned, we are all lifelong learners. There's a beautiful learning lesson and an opportunity in every day, and in fact, every moment. And I always say that every moment is a choice. So think about your choices that you're going to make. Choose to head down the path of success instead of on the path of fear and anxiety, and it's not good enough, or or I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, because this is what you're going to create. And then you create that barrier to success, and then it becomes impossible to achieve the success that you truly desire. You can certainly be successful maybe in one area of your life and certain aspects, but if you look at your life on a whole, you want to have success in all areas of your life. And if there's one area for you that's not working out so well, I want you to start really paying attention to what your thoughts are. What's going on in your mindset around that particular area for you, whether it's relationships, your career, finances. There's typically a barrier there somewhere if you're not at the level that you want. Now, of course, we're all, as I said, lifelong learners, and we progress and advance as we move forward. But then our goals also change, or should change, as we move forward, right? And I want you to set a goal that is so darn big that feels outrageous, because when you set a goal that you know 100% that you can achieve, then that's living in your comfort zone, right? It's because now that feels familiar to you. And that's also coming down to our mindset. We don't want to stretch beyond where we are because we're so afraid to take chances, because ultimately we're afraid of being rejected, right? It's such a tough one for a lot of people, that rejection. And rejection can show up in so many different ways, of course, right? I mean, as simple as, going back to even high school, asking somebody out on a date, right? For someone that could be just a really scary situation. But it can also be as equally scary for the person that's being asked out on a date, right? It's scary to either sometimes say yes or to have to say no. So we have to move beyond our level of comfort so that we can actually start to create a life that we love and have opportunity. We get into the workforce then, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, I'm going to just stay in this job for 20 years because it's comfortable, it feels good, there's nothing wrong with it. But the question to ask yourself, am I enjoying it? Is this what I love? Do I gain value from this? So you really want to remember, as part of your mindset and your thinking and the thoughts that you have, is that you want to make sure that your values, your wants, your needs come forth. So be willing and be vulnerable to share your wants and your needs. Like, we have to articulate that if we want to have a great relationship with other people. If we want to have a great career, if we want to have the success that we want, we really first need to define what it is that that looks like for us, and not let the limitations of our past thinking come into play to say that, hey, well, we can't deserve that. I want this, but I can't have it. So then we settle, and then we lie to ourselves as well as to other people, saying, no, I don't really want that, because you believe you can't have it. And so I want you to start looking at your wants and your needs from a place of, if there was nothing standing in the way and you could achieve anything that you wanted and you had the confidence to achieve what you want, that's the place that I want you to start thinking about and start now creating that feeling, coming from a feeling place. It's so important to add feeling into really your wants, your desires. I think affirmations are something for me that I do on a daily basis. So I always recommend that certainly to my clients as well, my clients that I'm coaching, in that set an affirmation. And when you're saying your affirmations, you have to add feeling and emotion to that affirmation, because it's going to make the biggest impact and the biggest difference when you can add that feeling into it. It's not just saying something, it's about adding the feeling. And so that also, again, comes down to our mindset and our thinking. So think of the feeling as the next extension of that. So again, we are talking about the 3 secrets to success, which are shift, shed, and show up. So the first one is, of course, to shift your mindset. And remember that mindset is equated to absolutely everything. The results that you're experiencing now, it's the mindset. It's what you have conditioned yourself to believe is true for you. And so we want to start to focus and create a life that we love. And I always say on the Mindset Mentor that your mindset is like a muscle, and you need to strengthen it and condition it. And so every day is a workout. Give your mindset a workout. It doesn't have to be an hour. It's like going to the gym for an hour, right? You don't have to do that. It could be 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Focus on something positive, something that you want to create, and stop thinking about all the things that you don't want or all the reasons why you can't have what you want. That is the biggest barrier to success, is really our own mindset. So again, that's that one of the secrets to success. So is to shift your mindset. The next one is shed limiting beliefs, that we're going to talk about when we come back from this break. And then the third secret to success is show up as the best version of yourself. So we're going to continue the conversation here on Sauga 960 AM. You're listening to The Mindset Mentor, and we will be back after this break. And welcome back to The Mindset Mentor on Sauga 960 AM. I'm your host, Tania Kolar, and it's so exciting to have you tuning in today, because we are talking about success, the 3 secrets to success. And I know you want more of success. We all want more success in our lives, right? It doesn't matter how much we accomplish. We'd like to certainly, achieve more. When we reach a goal, we set new goals, and we try to reach the next one. Oftentimes we stand in our own way of whatever success looks like to us, and we derail our success. We derail our advancement and our progress, because we believe that we don't deserve to have success. Many people have a belief that, well, you have to be born successful or be born into a successful family. And that's absolutely a falsehood, but so many people have come to believe that truth about themselves, and therefore it limits what they can achieve in life or what they're going to allow in. So the 3 secrets to success are shift, shed, and show up. So the first one was shift your mindset, which we talked about, just before we took a break, and we'll get into a little bit more of that, throughout as well. We'll kind of go back in between all 3 success points. But the next one that I really would love to talk about is shedding limiting beliefs. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about, because in working with so many clients, I can see the challenges that so many people have when it comes to the limiting beliefs that we have and hold to be so true about ourselves, and myself included. I mean, it was quite a journey and a process for me to start to unravel all of the limiting beliefs that I had. And I'm telling you, I had a ton of them. So I truly understand what it feels like to be stuck, what it feels like to believe that you're not good enough and that you don't deserve. And I'm here to tell you that that is absolutely false. You can achieve, be, do, and have what it is that you want because you are good enough. You are a beautiful soul born into this beautiful, extraordinary world, and you were meant to live an extraordinary life. And one of the big reasons, again, of course, is that we aren't living the life that we want is the limiting beliefs. We're going to talk about shedding limiting beliefs, how we can do that. And the third secret to success is show up as the best version of yourself. And when you can do that, oh, let me tell you, it is such a beautiful thing. That's where this authenticity comes to play. And you truly now are creating a life that you love. And my mission here on the Mindset Mentor is really to help you cultivate a life you love. I want you to reach the level of success that you desire and deserve, and whatever that looks like to you. You know, we're all different, and that's a beautiful thing. We should be different. And of course, that means that we have different goals and we have different desires. But whatever is important to you and what you would love to achieve, I really hope that you give yourself an opportunity to go after it, to not be afraid, to now start getting out of your comfort zone, even when you feel the fear, right? To move past it. Fear can be a beautiful thing. And certainly, you know, I know that it keeps a lot of us from moving forward because we're so afraid. We're so afraid of getting hurt. We're so afraid of being rejected, and we really limit ourselves. So when it comes to shedding limiting beliefs, let's talk about that. And let's delve into this because, again, it's one of my favorite things to talk about. And in fact, in my book, Breaking the Stupid Mold, the subtitle is Overcoming Self-Sabotage and Limiting Beliefs So You Can Live an Extraordinary Life. It was so important for me to share my journey and my struggle of getting past my own limitations. And I truly had a belief, and I think this is the biggest limiting belief that everybody has, is the belief that we're not enough. And therefore we don't deserve. And so I want to help the world overcome this because you absolutely are enough. The moment you were born, you know, here on this planet, you were enough and you are enough and you always will be enough. But we forget that innate truth of who we are because of the society pressures, because of our childhood, you know, our past, how we grew up, who we grew up with or around, that really influenced our thought process. And you see, limiting beliefs are so deeply ingrained in our being that, you know, it really dates back to ancestral DNA. So we're picking up patterns that don't even belong to us. We're picking up beliefs that were our parents' beliefs or our grandparents' beliefs or their grandparents' beliefs. So it really gets passed down through generation to generation, the limiting beliefs that we have. But we really want to start to look at the limiting beliefs that we have and hold to be true about ourselves and start to question whether that's true. Because if you really start to delve into it, you're going to realize that most of what you think about yourself is not even true. And we are our own worst critics in so many ways. We beat ourselves up constantly and incessantly, you know, this little mind chatter going on in our minds that tells us that, oh, we're not good enough. We can't do this. We can't do that. You know, for whatever reasons or whatever beliefs we're holding on to tightly. And those limiting beliefs leads to self-sabotaging behaviors. So there's many self-sabotaging behaviors and symptoms, you know, all linked to your limiting beliefs. In fact, I talk about them in my book, Breaking the Stupid Mold. It's on chapter 3. Actually, I'd like to read off some of these because I think you'll start to recognize yourself or recognize the patterns, when you hear some of the symptoms of self-sabotaging behavior and the resulting behaviors, I should say. Okay, so here's one. You play small for fear of how others will react if you are successful. There's such an interesting thing where some people fear success, some people fear failure, but again, it's all tied to the beliefs that we hold to be true about ourselves. And again, in that case, it's like, oh, well, if I'm successful, how are other people going to handle it? They're not going to love me if I'm more successful than they are. Or you may have a belief that you can't be more successful than a parent or a spouse, perhaps, right? And so then again, you start to do things that sabotage, moving forward and getting the success. So that could be sabotaging a promotion at work, a promotion that you really wanted, but then you pretended that you didn't want it, or you told your boss that you didn't want it because in your mind, you believe that you can't be that successful. Right. Or you'll actually, flub the interview because, again, you just think that, well, it's a subconscious belief. So it's dictating your behavior on a very subconscious level. So you don't even realize that that's happening. That's just one quick little thing here. So let's take a look here. Okay. So another one is you quit just when you're close to the finish line. So how many times have you done that? Or you started a project and then you didn't complete the project? So there's something there holding you back from that completion. And maybe in some cases, probably minute cases where you really you weren't passionate enough about the project. So then, you just didn't have the energy anymore. But sometimes it's really the limiting belief that's causing that, right? So you believe that, well, it's not important anyway, so I'm not going to do it. But if you started to do it, there was a reason why you started. So ask yourself why you're now not completing that task that you started. Take a look at that. Let's do a little dissection of all the things that you've started and stopped, and you'll probably start to recognize that there is a pattern. So our limiting beliefs 100% are creating a pattern in our lives. And again, that could trickle down to, and mostly trickles down into every single aspect. That one pattern, you'll start to see that show up in your career, in your finances, in your relationships, and in your health, in so many ways. So start to take a look and dissect that. I think it's such a great, thing for all of us to do, check in from time to time and really see what beliefs are holding us back from achieving the success that we truly desire and that we really would love to have. So here's some more symptoms of self-sabotage and the resulting behaviors. So you hide your vulnerability because you believe crying is a weakness. So many people are terrified of being vulnerable, and that really holds you back from expressing who you truly are, your best self, which again is the next step to the 3 secrets to success is showing up as your best self. And you can't show up as your best self when you are so afraid to be vulnerable that you don't share and express your true feelings. That's really, really important to be authentic and to own who you are. Again, we're all different. And the problem is we try so hard to fit in and be like everybody else, but you shouldn't be like everybody else because you're not like everybody else. You are a unique, beautiful soul with your own purpose and your own talent and your own gifts that you have an opportunity to share with the world, with the people around you. And that's such a beautiful thing. And it's such a shame to hide that genuine light that you have. So let's take a look at a couple other ones. Okay, so you act submissive in relationships because you're afraid to stand up for yourself. So again, that's another one. You fear rejection so badly that you won't even stand up for yourself, even when you know it's wrong. And you're in a situation that you're tolerating and you know you shouldn't tolerate. But again, that's linked very much to that limiting belief. Here's another one. You avoid making decisions because you can't handle being wrong. So if you have this pattern, you just can't make a decision, I want you to start looking back and go as far back as you can remember to the earliest belief where you made a decision and you believe that something negative happened because of that decision that you made. So that's a belief that, well, I made a decision once and it was bad or it didn't work out the way that I intended. And so now you think that every decision you make is going to have that same negative, awful impact that it had. But the problem is this, that the beliefs that we had, of course, through childhood, we viewed them as a child would, right? So that belief, that childhood belief, is now coming into our adult lives and running our lives, right? So, but the problem is that as a 4-year-old, you may have made a decision, whatever that decision was. You're not good enough, you don't deserve, I'm not smart enough, whatever decision you made, you're carrying that into your adult life, and that's dictating all of your decisions in this life, in this moment, but based on what a 4-year-old thought. Right? So we need to start to go back to those old patterns, to those old limiting beliefs, and start to eliminate them and not let them run your life anymore. So, I always say that, your limiting beliefs, it's like this silent dictator buried in your subconscious that's running your life. It's running everything that you do. All the decisions that you make are based around these limitations that we've decided upon, way back when. But we carry them into this life, and it prevents you, again, from achieving whatever it is that you truly desire, what you want to achieve. We are our biggest barrier to success. So I truly want to help you uncover your blocks, to get rid of those beliefs that you have. And as I said before, I get it. I understand. I had such a huge list of limiting beliefs, and it took me a while to start to even understand that I had this pattern. But I started to really pay attention to what I was saying to myself. I started to listen to the language patterning, the repetition. So I want you to do that. Start paying attention to your language, and you're going to start to see that there's words that you use all the time. In every situation, and it might be one phrase, that was awful, that was horrific, that was mortifying, and you're going to start to hear that pattern. So we want to start to look at where that pattern, that one sentence came from. And if you can try to go back to when that feeling kind of first started, the feelings associated with that belief, you can start now to unravel and to identify and eliminate those limiting beliefs, because they are a huge barrier to your success. They block you in so many ways. So let's take a look at a couple of other symptoms and the resulting behaviors. Again, this is from my book. It's on chapter 3 if you have the book, by the way. Okay, so you continue to attract men who are controlling or women who emasculate you. So these are patterns that we have, or we could have, right? Obviously, everybody has their own sort of set of limiting beliefs, and it's not one, right? There's usually many beliefs that we hold to be true about ourselves, but they're really falsehoods. So we live a life that is not even a reality, and we really believe it's true, and it affects the quality of our lives. We can't be our best selves when we have all of these limitations, all of these things that we believe to be true about ourselves, right? Here's another one. You avoid sharing your opinion because you're afraid to be judged. Let's see. Oh, I already said that one. You act submissive in relationships because you're afraid to stand up for yourself. You deliberately say something foolish so others believe you are less intelligent than you are. I know that one sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But you know what? I did it. I did that for years, actually decades. And I had a limiting belief growing up that I was stupid, and it didn't matter how many people told me throughout the years growing up, even as a young teen, that I was intelligent. I truly believed that I was just a stupid kid. And so my pattern, when you start to identify it, was that I always say, well, I'm just a stupid kid. right? Or yeah, I can't do that because, well, I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not smart enough. No matter how much you try, you'll never achieve the success that you want when you have those types of limiting beliefs. So I want you to start getting rid of all of the negative things that you're saying about yourself and start supporting yourself. So when we can start to replace negative language patterns, we can definitely start to mold and to shape a reality for ourselves that brings us closer to our goals and not further away, because your limiting beliefs are going to keep you completely far away from what it is that you truly in your heart and soul desire. Brian Tracy has a great a quote that says, "You begin to fly when you let go of your limiting beliefs and you allow your mind and aspirations to rise to greater heights." And that's exactly what I would love for you, is to rise to new heights. Step out of your own way, get past those limiting beliefs and those limiting blocks, and start to truly be who you are. And that's going to lead us into the third secret to success, which is show up. So shift, shed, show up. Those are your three secrets to success. Just to recap that. So the first one is to shift your mindset. So really important that we take a look at what we're putting into our mindset, what we're thinking about all day long, and start to reprogram some of the negative language, the negative patterns, so that we can start to create what it is that we want, as opposed to having what we don't want manifest, right, in so many different ways and in all areas of our lives, by the way. And then again, so the second secret to success is shedding limiting beliefs. So important to get beyond the limitations of what you have decided to be true about yourself, or mainly what I should say is that what somebody else decided to be true about you. Because the limiting beliefs that we pick up through childhood, through our teachers, through other family members, or anybody who was around us for a long period of time. And mind you, it doesn't even have to be somebody who has been around you for a length of time. It could be one sentence that was said to you by someone, that really transformed what you believe to be true about yourself. And we hold on to that belief, and we let this limitation dictate our lives. We react based on limiting beliefs. Our behaviors, our habits, our patterns are born from those limiting beliefs. So it's so key and essential to go back and dissect what that is. And then again, the third secret to success is to show up as your best self. So we're going to continue. We'll talk about that third secret to success when we come back from the break. You're listening to The Mindset Mentor. I'm Tania Kolar, and we will be back after this. And welcome back to The Mindset Mentor on Sauga 960 AM. I truly hope that you are having an absolutely outstanding day today. And if you're not, then I want you to start creating the day that you want. We have absolute total control of the choices that we make, and every moment is a choice. And I want you to choose to be your best self. In this show today, we're talking about the three secrets to success. So for me, it's so simple. It's shift, shed, show up. Just remember those three things. Shift your mindset, shed limiting beliefs, and show up as the best version of yourself. When you can do those three things, it is a game changer, and your life will shift and start to evolve exactly how you want it to unfold, as opposed to being stuck in fear and the anxiety and a comfort zone of not being able to move beyond because we're so afraid. So we talked earlier about the importance of shifting your mindset, of course, right? I mean, everybody wants success. We all strive for success. Nobody wants to lose in life, but we stand in our own way. And success is truly a mindset. So if you can prime your mindset for success, the doors will start opening for you. And then if we can start to shed those limiting beliefs, when the door is there, we'll open the door, the opportunity is there, and we're going to let it in instead of closing the door and sending it away. right? Because we feel that, or we believe that we don't deserve success. Well, of course you deserve success. What makes you any less qualified or any less better than the next person when it comes to whatever success you would like to achieve, right? Again, we start to put these barriers to success on ourselves, and we also blame other people for the reasons why we can't achieve success. Well, and that brings us into the third point of success. The secret to success is to show up as the best version of yourself. So important to really be and remember who you are. You are an extraordinary human born into this planet, an extraordinary world, and you were meant to have an extraordinary life. But the problem is that we are so full of limiting beliefs that we have picked up through childhood that has really dictated what our mindset is like today. And so we now fear moving forward. We're so afraid to be vulnerable and to share what's truly going on inside, what we feel, what we desire, what we love, what we're passionate about, because we don't want to be rejected. Right? I mean, rejection is such a tough emotion for a lot of people, feeling rejected. And if we look back to the first time we were rejected, that's really where everything starts. And what happens is that, all of your limiting beliefs, those experiences start to pile up, and they pile up and they pile up. And you're stuck in what I call a mold. And that mold is formed, it's malleable, it gets shaped and formed by whatever we choose to put into it. And then at some point, it becomes so full that it solidifies. And so that is now running our life. We're running our lives in this false identity that is not us. And I want you to break down that false identity and really be your authentic self, that beautiful self that you are. Everybody is unique and has gifts that nobody else has. There's 7.8 billion people on this planet. And that means there's 7.8 billion different personalities and different talents and different gifts. There's nobody else like you. And that's such a beautiful thing. And if you can embrace that, your life will change for the better. Let's not suppress our inner gifts and who we truly are at our core being, because that would just be such a tragedy, right? To not express your true nature and let your beautiful inner light shine. So many people, again, are dimming their light because of the limitations and the past beliefs. So the first thing is really to take responsibility. Right? I want you to take responsibility for what has shown up in your life. And again, as I say, we have all of these limiting beliefs that have created patterns in our lives. And so if we can take responsibility for everything, and it's not about blaming yourself, right? But you certainly don't want to blame other people. So that's the problem, is that it's like, oh, well, you said this, my husband said this to me, or my wife said this, so therefore I feel this way. No, absolutely not. It's not about what they said that made you feel that way. It's about what you chose to believe to be true, in that moment. And that's the choice that you made. So I want you to take responsibility for everything that has shown up for your life. And again, don't turn that into blaming yourself. That goes back to the limiting beliefs, right? Where it's like, oh, I'm not good enough. I can't do anything right. Stop saying that kind of stuff. Now, there's a difference about taking responsibility versus blaming yourself. So if we can take responsibility, that means that we now can control moving forward, how we're going to move forward, how we want to proceed, and not let the past dictate our future, right? We need to fall in love with our future more than our past. And so many people get up every day living in the past of yesterday and the past from years ago, and it just keeps continuing into the day. We have about 70,000 thoughts a day, and about 90, or I think 80 or 90% of those thoughts are exactly the same thoughts that you had yesterday. So is it possible to create a new reality when you have all the same thoughts that you had yesterday and you're stuck in that past reality? So we want to start to switch that percentage. and create a beautiful life that you love. Show up as the best version of yourself. Be authentic. Don't be afraid to be who you are. Stop trying to fit in because you are different. You're not like everybody else. There's no two people on this planet that are exactly alike. So try not to always want to just be like everybody else. The goal is to be an expression, a beautiful expression of who you truly are at your core. So that's my goal for you, is to start to now get rid of your limiting beliefs. Start to really prime your mindset for what it is that you want to create in your life, instead of the barriers as to why I can't have this, why I'm just going to survive versus thriving. The goal is to thrive. I want you to thrive, not just to get by and survive every day. Surviving, getting up, going to a job that you hate, that you despise. If you're in that situation where you're hating your job, think about it. Everything, our mindset is equated to everything. So if you hate your job, that means that you cannot give your best self in your relationship. Your finances are going to reflect that. Everything in your life is going to be affected by your thoughts and your behaviors. So I really want you to start thinking about, again, what's going into your mindset. What are you saying to yourself? What are you doing? How are you showing up? And start showing up as the best version of yourself. A lot of people, again, are scared to be who they truly, authentically are because they are afraid of rejection. But when you can be your absolute, true, 100% core being, then that it's never wrong. It's such a beautiful thing. And you give a gift not only to yourself, but to everyone around you. Everybody knows and can recognize somebody who is being authentic and what that looks like. And it's easy to be around people who are authentic and who are happy. And think about the challenge that it is when you have somebody who is fighting so hard to not be themselves, and the challenges that creates in just an everyday situation. So if you can show up as your best self, if you can stop beating yourself up for the person that you think you should be, or that you should have achieved this or accomplished this at this point in your life, stop saying those kinds of things, because whatever happened the way that they were meant to happen, because something else didn't. So we need to embrace those moments. So take responsibility for the moment, show up as the best version of yourself, and don't be afraid to let that beautiful, radiant inner light shine. Because remember that you were born into an extraordinary world, and you were meant to have an extraordinary life. But you forgot that somewhere along the way, through life, through a career or a family, just society, right? We kind of forget what we truly want, what gifts we have to offer the world. But I want you to start remembering who you are, because at your core, you are such a beautiful soul. And I truly want you to remember that for me, that is my goal. I truly work hard with my clients to make sure that they start remembering who they are, and not get stuck in the mold of what somebody else believes to be true about them, or what somebody else has decided that they should do as a career. And maybe you're one of those people right now who is in a career that you don't love, and you may hate it, but you did it because your parents maybe were in that field, or they chose it for you, or they wanted you to go to school and be a doctor and be a lawyer or be an architect, and you didn't want to be that. You want to maybe be an artist and express your individuality, or whatever that is for you, what you want it to be. I think it's so important to remember that. And I understand that, the reality is that, yes, we all have to earn a living, and you may be in that job that you hate because you're just trying to make ends meet. But in that case, what you're doing is you're just trying to survive. And I want you to get to a point where you actually thrive in life. So whatever that looks like for you, that could be the success that you want. That could be taking baby steps take those little steps. What can you do today to do something that you love? Particularly if you are in a career that you hate, or you're afraid to have a career that you want, or you have no career and you want one. Think about what it is that you can do. One small action. Take a small action to get you there, and then continue the momentum and keep taking more steps to get you to the next level, because your life will truly change when you can do that. And you might start off as doing what you love as a hobby, right? Let it be a hobby for now, but don't let that inner joy disappear because you're not allowing yourself to take steps to do what you love. We suppress our core being, which leads to disease in the body. Right? It creates a lot of stress, tension, anxiety, and ultimately disease. So we really want to do what we can to thrive, be the best version of yourself, and start, creating a life that you love. So we're going to wrap up this hour here of the Mindset Mentor. So I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. And I really wish you the most success in creating the success that you desire, and whatever that looks like for you. So I want you to remember, shift, shed, and show up. Shift your mindset, shed limiting beliefs, and show up as the best version of yourself, because you were meant to have an extraordinary life. Even if you don't believe that, it's true. So I want you to start believing it. I want you to start telling yourself that. And listen, I also would love to get your ideas. If you have any ideas for future shows, let me know. Send me an email to tania@taniakolar.com. And while you're there, I want you to also sign up for my free report, How to Raise Your Vibration. And that's actually going to help to shift your mindset if you can raise and elevate your vibration. So again, remember to shift, shed, show up, and create the success that you desire and deserve.